But what it is, man, I go by the name of Shuicide Holla out of Cleveland, Ohio.
The first thing that stands out to me is the name, bro. Talk to me about that. Where'd the name come from?
Man, honestly, if we're gonna go all the way to the depth of it, I came from so low on the lower east side of Cleveland, like where we really in the hood, the gutter, to the point where I ain't even really had no shoes. Me and my sister would share shoes type joint going to school. So coming out of that, getting into going into foster care, I end up just, developing. By the time I got to high school, then I realized I could work, you know what I mean? I'm going to get some shoes. And I just started collecting them joints for years, and I ain't never really stopped, man. So by the time I started making music, the name started as Young Holla. But you know what I mean? Being just a creative, I'm always thinking, I start really thinking like, how many youngs is it out there? Do I really want that? Or do I really want to stand out and just be a one of one? That's when I was like, the love of the shoes. I had the couple guys that's around me, that's my team right now, and they the ones that really was rapping first when I came back from the system. And they was like, no, you got it. Jump behind me. I'm like, the team gonna stick. So some guys that's gonna kick it to death became the slogan Shuicide.
Do you remember the first pair of shoes you bought?
White Air Force mids.
Why was that the first choice, like, once you finally got to be able to?
This wasn't actually when I got into bread, but I'm talking about the first pair of shoes that I was able to buy for myself, because it was like I'm working at McDonald's. I'm a young boy. I ain't really got no bread for real, but I'm constantly getting talked. They talking about, yo, you ain't never got the joints. He ain't never. I ain't gonna lie. The year before high school, I had some fake Shack joints. You know what I mean? The Johns that had the bubble in them. You know how it be, man. The bread ain't always there with the parents, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm going to give me a job. I could work, get my own, bought some white mids, man. And from that, it just the whole look good, feel good, John, even outside of whatever an ego would be. Like I'm already at that moment building myself up, but I just wanted to, look nice. I had came from dirt, nothing, laying next to roaches, all type of John, you know what I mean?
What motivated you to want more during that time period?
Well, coming up where I'm from, man, Cleveland, Ohio, the east side, like the bottom, like no mother, no father. Basically, like, not that a mother wasn't there, but I'm so young. I'm the youngest of 6. I'm looking at the situation like, I see she here, but she's not ever here. Like, I'm 3, 4 years old. I got 2 sisters, 3 brothers. We all just on the block in the hood in the middle of the jungle. Like now when you look down on it's the jungle, but we kids, we don't know no difference. Outside every night, niggas getting shot. You got all type of shit going on in the hood. So coming up from that, it was like, man, I gotta do something. By the time I went to the system at 6, my mom was already like, yo, just last night it was 6 of us. Now it's just 2 of us. What's going on? You got to think you 6 years old. You already thinking like, okay, when I went to sleep, it was the slums. But when I woke up, it looked like I'm in another state.
Foster care. How'd that affect your mindset?
It really helped me, man. Because what you got to really understand is that when you in the bottom, it's a mind state. It's a mentality. It's called survival. It's the only way to live. You get eaten up. The wolves, all type of John down there. When you get over here to this suburb and you go into these suburban school, you got kids that's a little bit better. A couple might be aggressive. You got parents that's you waking up to a breakfast. You got all type of things going on. You got some allowance, maybe you got pets. It changed the mind. So look at the alternative. I could have been stuck here, but I was gifted this.
Was there a point when like you miss your family though, or like how do you deal with that?
It was me and my second to oldest brother till I was 8. So we went in at 6. By 8, I guess he was doing some shit in high school that the foster family was just like, we ain't rocking. So once that happened, it was like, I probably laid up for a few months on some thoughts like, yo, what the hell going on? Like, what I'm gonna be able to do? But that, by the time I got there, from the time I stepped in that foster home, I went outside every day. You gotta think, I'm just a kid, like, yo, where the hell is my other sibling? So I'm just walking the neighborhood, looking for shit, just trying to get into shit.
Black or white family?
What? I'm black family, I'm tripping, black family.
as you progress and you get a little bit older now, how does music come into your life?
So once brother left, you got to think I'm a kid now looking for identity. In my mind, I need to reverse where we just came from. How do I get back to these people that I've been growing up with? So I was playing basketball, teaching myself that, and I fell off into music. I never was a follower. I never really cared for peer pressure. I never cared for a lot of things. And what's funny is my foster mother would always get on me like, don't be hanging with da-da-da-da-da. And I was already thinking like I don't, but she wasn't believing, you know what I mean? So I just was a dude that was just willing to just get up and go get it, to the point where I fell into music and I came into underground rappers and mixtape guys, and fell into the 50 Cents and the Chameleonaires and the D Blocks, the J Hoods, the Jada Kisses, and all of these type people, DMX. So coming into that, you got to think my mind was groomed different. When I heard that, it sounded like what I came from. So that kind of like embraced me.
So we go from now, you relating to the music, you having a love for music. When does it become, okay, I'm gonna try my hand at this. Like, I might be gifted at it. Let me.
By about 14, I'm getting more into wild shit. They had, as a matter of fact, don't let me skip. 13, the family went ahead and adopted me. A mother, 2 sisters. Still my family to this day, love them to death. Adopted me at 13. I'm falling into music, so now I'm hearing guys like I'm hearing punchlines. Like I'm starting to hear crazy stuff, and then I fall into Big L, and I'm like, yo, what? Like, he just raw with it, just coming. Like, you can tell it's from the gut. You can tell this dude gonna influence some stuff for a few years, man. So I fall into that, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta try this. I'm going to school. You got guys beating on the desk and all type of joint on the lockers. Clips had just dropped grinding. Beat was crazy. So I start getting into some wild, like, just fucking over my family basically at 14. Just not really appreciating what they doing, lying to them, manipulating them, taking bread and doing all type of dumb shit. We get past that, I'm just a rebellious kid because I'm listening to this shit that these niggas was saying, Big L and these guys, the cussing, that's cool, right? I'm listening to this shit and I'm like, damn, let me try some. So I'm doing dumb shit to the family. So basically, man, I rack up a bunch of felonies as a juvenile, just nonsense joints, like blue collar joints. So I'm sorry, like white collar joints. So my mind already starting to get creative, and I'm starting to rebel against the people who embrace me. By 17, I'm hooping, I'm nice. I done trained myself from 6 years old in this family. I'm nice, I'm starting to gain the ego. I done start buying my clothes. So I'm really going against Mom Dukes. Like, yo, I got to get back to them people. This like 17. So I'm already into this. I'm already the guy that go to school and rap. They know me. They seeing me as that. I done start rebelling against the fam. 18, I call the family like, yo, I'm of age. This family adopted me, took me in. You know what I mean? I don't even know why I'm doing this dumb shit, but I'm just trying to get back to the family I came from. It was torn. I had to figure that out. So 18, I go down here to the hood, back to where I just started at. A couple of the guys that my aunt had a boyfriend, and they all stayed on a block called Colfax, 75th and Colfax. He was a rapper. A couple of his bros was rappers too. So I'm coming in at 18, they embrace me. Yo, you can come stay here. We remember you from 6 years old. Embrace me. I'm finding out they rap, boom. They like, yo, you can come to the studio with us. I start trying to, let me get on the mic. And they was like, yo, you can rap though. And I'm like, okay. So these older guys just start like kind of like converting and like, no, we're gonna fall back and just push you. You the guy, you know what I mean? I'm 18. I just got back from this whole foster care. So, boom. I still being rebellious, trying to get this shit out of me, the shit that I heard when these songs and coming from that environment. I get back down to the hood. I want to still look good and do all this shit. I jumped into the nonsense. So from about 18 to 20, I was doing that, boom. Find out I got a kid on the way. I'm like, yo, I got to do something else. This ain't it. My daughter. So start writing again, and I ain't never stopped.
Really quickly, how does your foster family feel, you know, in hindsight, if you had conversations with them about what you did during that time period?
And those conversations is the ones that helped me grow, man, because I had one sister over here, Kim, who was more of the militant type. So when I'm doing dumb shit, not just I will stop doing dumb shit, but a paragraph about this big, write it 5,000 times.
So you learned discipline.
That was one sis. The other sis, Tanya, was like my mother because my mother that adopted me was older. This is a foster family. So Tanya taught me love, empathy, forgiveness. She's the one that went on to take care of her business. I saw her go to school for 8 years to become an anesthesiologist. So you got to think, from the moment I walked into this foster home at 6, I woke up the next morning with a broom in my hand. Discipline. For the next 12 years straight, I clean up every day. Not just I'm slaving or anything like that, but my mother liked to keep a nice, clean home. So that taught me discipline. My sis taught me love, empathy, forgiveness. She making 2, 3, I don't know how much a year. I'm just like this. Rebellious kid. I don't know this, you know what I mean?
Does she know you're taking from her?
She finds out. That's what I mean. Love, empathy, forgiveness. Hell yeah, you 2 months. I know you let her go out. No, you ain't going outside for 2 months. Write this, whoop me. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm still learning, but because of that, you got to think when you coming from that environment, you don't get that when that happened. You get this. Yeah, of course they sent me in, but that's because I had an ego. I kept trying to be something that I wasn't. And I was just like laughing at the fact that I got caught in this sense, but not figured, you know what I mean? So they taught me so much shit that it molded my mind differently. So by the time I got into this music and started writing, I already had a drive, like I gotta go, and I can do it every day because I've been cleaning the house every day. So I went, and creatively throughout the years, I just kept dropping stuff. You know, the local awards, they got different things. I was winning them. Just constantly doing a bunch of different stuff, and I'm just still creating with it.
When did you get to the point of seeing yourself begin to make a name for yourself, not just amongst your friends and your family, but like amongst the city?
So we came in 2012. That's when I hit the scene. Okay. 2016, January, February 2016, I came out with what's world renowned as, you know, the worldwide song. If y'all heard it, probably didn't know me. It's called Hit Them Folks. I came up with this record, went viral. I started receiving about 10,000 videos a day, just random kids from around the country, and still to this day, just sending me videos, dancing to it, because it just, if you would like to know the way I went into the record as opposed to the way the world took it, they took it in a way where it was like, yo, we got this dance going right now, we're gonna embrace it, let's go. And that joint just, you know what I mean? It gave me a wild...
This TikTok.
This is before that. This was when Musically was out. 2016, this is when you gotta think. And I don't even really speak in a cocky type mind, but I birthed a lot of artists with the template that I set, from the AOs, the Teos, to the Hill Figures, and I wasn't even speaking in that sense. It just was being a lyrical artist. You mold in a certain way. So when I put that and they saw you can put a dance and did it, it trickled down. But I turned down said situation.
I was about to say, so at that point, did you have labels coming at you?
Yes, they was reaching out to my manager heavy. I made a record about it and everything, but it didn't line up because I had molded myself a little differently. You know what I mean? My mind wasn't really thinking on the... Honestly, if we're gonna keep it a bean, what they wanted to do with said record wasn't the type of artist I saw myself as. And I'm like, nah, you know what?
Break that down for me. What do you mean?
It would have been basically, we will give you this bag, just like they did back, if you seen Organized Noise on Netflix, and they told them, yeah, these guys is cool, but we want some more of that waterfall shit. We will give you this bag. We need a couple more of those. Well,
and that's not what you wanted to do.
The way they interpret it, no. Maybe I thought I could try to make it in the style of music I make, but still, I'm still thinking, yo, I want to touch this. I want to be known as this. I want to do this platform. Once I do this, it ain't really no coming back from this.
And what are the bags looking like that they're offering you? Is it more money than you, at this point, than you've technically seen in your life?
Not that I've seen, that I had for sure.
Okay.
And due to that, it wasn't no super duper amount. So because of that, it didn't line up with, you know what I mean? It would have went out faster than I wouldn't have even been able to, because of the momentum I already had. I would have had to, you know what I mean, invest so much, it just would have. And I hadn't matured still yet. I'm still going through things. When you're creating and painting these canvases, this doesn't just come from all the time. You can create it as you go. You can start reminiscing yourself and be like, you know what, let me talk about what happened on this day and that day. That's how you can have a million songs, because you done lived life. You could take one thing that happened on one day and create a whole story. So when I start to think of that, I'm like, this ain't enough. You know what I mean?
And when did you get to that mindset like that you're in now? So like what
2017,
happened?
following, like we're gonna still keep it all the way up being. 2016, when all of this instant fame came, let me hit this L. Cause this every day I'm doing something. Let me just really see what's going on. I just came from flat nothing, the family, boom. After creating for like 3.5 years. I'm like, let me really just understand what's going on, boom. And once I did that, my mind just started rising instantly. I mean, by the time 17 came and I seen what was being offered, the hometown summer jam hit me up. Yo, we need you on stage for that song. The world, it went crazy. I mean, if you listen to the TikToks and things that got all the world dance songs, my John is on there every trip, no matter who posted. So it went crazy. So I'm doing the summer jams, doing all these things. So I'm already just heightening by the day, man. So by the time 17 come around, I'm not even creating the same type of music, because I done started learning myself why I went through what I went through, what it really meant. What did it mean the couple years that I went back? Like, how did that really affect me? Where am I at right now? What just happened? How do I proceed?
What were some of the things that you discovered?
I just started realizing, like, I really started getting deeper into my creativeness and the things that I had been through from a child, being in choir, being in a cappella classes, things that I'm being a knucklehead, overlooking and not really understanding why these are being given to me. And these are gifts, and these are, you know what I mean, things that I can hone in. And so by the time I'm learning myself 17, I start reminiscing, because now I'm smoking weed. I can hear all the keys that I could go to back then when I was in choir, the tenors and the basses and the altos, and I could hear, just like the storytelling ability that just really just made me who I was at 13, to start learning like from them greats. Like I could start hearing myself in that light. I already had the writing ability. My sister helped me with that. I done wrote probably 50,000 sentences. So it was already crafting itself.
You know, we're in 2022. A lot's happened over the last couple of years. How has it shaped your mind now in regards to where you move forward and how you progress forward?
At this point, man, I done took it up from 17. I dropped the joint and I created this whole one-of-one character that I represent, style, however they want to say it, my cadence, everything. And I done just elevated it, and it kept taking it more and more and more. So I'm just becoming more and more and more of me, ready for whatever is ready to present itself, so that I could, you know what I mean, knock down that door, do it again and do it again. And it helped me, man. If we're gonna go to 19, let's jump a couple years before 22. We're gonna go to 19. I put out a project called Out of the Barrel. And it was more than the concept. I have the artwork and everything that'll show you it was a mindset if I'm gonna speak on it. But from there, 18, I had moved to VA.
What part?
I'm down Chesapeake. So when I did that, you gotta think, I done did everything I could on this local. I done already even did that global jump. How they gonna get ready to start looking at me in this, you know what I mean? So you had to really just take into consideration what you doing it for and why. And it's more than just, let me be stuck in, you know what I mean? You gotta expand it. I really got into my biggest creativity, you know what I mean, bag, and we haven't stopped, man. I just been getting love since 18, 19, 20, you know what I mean? So every time I go back to the crib, packed show, everything is kind of like already on this train. It's moving. I got a whole entire movement that I'm pushing, and that's behind me. And however it go, that's what we rapping right now on the east side. So we just on autopilot in a sense, but I'm creating, like, you know what I mean? It's already embedded. I got the discipline. It ain't really gonna stop.
As we kind of get ready to wrap, let's talk music. Let's talk where you're at mentally. What's on your slate?
Right now, I'm getting ready to drop a whole another LP since the last one I dropped in 19, which was Out of the Barrel. This joint is called This for the East Side.
What influenced it? Like, talk to me about that.
Coming from having the mind state to dig all the way back to that lower, you know what I mean, east side of Cleveland, where I came from, that gutter. And talk about all them experiences I went through, you know what I mean, throughout the years. I just been honing in on my storytelling ability. And just, you know what I mean, digging deeper and deeper and deeper and just bringing these stories out. I'm just keeping this same pattern going, man. The people appreciating it. They wanted me to put it out. They feel, they love, they enjoy the pain, the art. You know what I mean? I'd be a fool to stop. With me coming from so far back and having to go through these different mindsets of immaturity, you know what I mean? Then maturing. Like, you gotta really be able to pick or choose. Like, either you gonna remain this way or you're gonna do this, which is the butterfly thing, and be able to flourish. Because if you don't, this is just the cycle. And if we go all the way deep into it, let's compare it to a barrel. You know what I mean? You got rungs on the jump. You're gonna always have people that's gonna do these type tactics to gain, and all they want you to do is abide. Either you're gonna follow that or you're gonna free yourself. You gotta really be willing to take that leap and be like, you know what, nah. Cause as long as you in a pot of gumbo, you only gonna just continue to get stirred, so it ain't gonna really clear your thoughts up. How you gonna create it your best when you dealing with so much? Get yourself free, man. Invest, do whatever you gotta do. Get yourself free. You will get to your max creativity level, man. It's inevitable. And develop a discipline and grind. Like, that's all it take, man.